Yep, we did a thing and we bought an early Bronco. And well, it's really good at being a massive piece of shit. I can't lie to you, we've been hiding something, and it's this. This is our new to us 1968 Ford Bronco. Things have escalated, and it's out of control. We got a call one night from a good friend, we won't name names, Bronco Man 6, and he called us and says, "Hey, do you want an early Bronco? Because if you do, now's the time." And we did. And so we went and picked this up. And I'll tell you, it's rough, as you've seen. So let's take a walk around and let's see how much work we're gonna have to put in this old Bronco to make it great again. So in all honesty, we do have a pretty solid project here. It's rough, but it still exists. It's here in the Blanco shop, and we're gonna do some cool things with it. It's just gonna take a bit of time because it needs, well, basically everything. First things first, we've named this truck Rusty because, well, as you can see, there's rust on every single panel, but it's fine. There's great places out there that make reproduction parts for these old Broncos. We can make it good as new. Start with some of my favorite stuff that's wrong with this. So what you didn't know is in 1968, Ford made the tailgate optional. It falls off at a moment's notice. Literally, when you're trying to film a video, it just falls on its face. That's pretty cool. That would be due to this whole corner pocket is rotted out. There is no support for that tailgate to even hold on to. We got straps, that's good, but not much other stuff. Then, you need to get to your gas tank fill tube, nice and easy. Well, there you go. Let's just put some rot in that corner and cut it out and do nothing about it. It'll be fine. Save it for the next guy. So the next best thing that we really enjoy about this 68 Bronco is, well, let me show you how the passenger seat's mounted in. I'll always leave your windows down. So somebody took the time to put some sweet Jeep seats in here. And you know, just go and get your 2x4. Let's just screw it in there, and you know, it'll be a good enough seat support on all of the rust. And let's just pop rivet in some new floor panels. It'll be fine. Utilitarian is what the Bronco is all about. You take these things, and the parts cross over from all the years. Take this fender, for example. It's about the straightest panel on the whole truck, and well, it's the wrong year because in 68, as far as I know, you didn't have any marker lights up front. But no matter the year, all these parts cross over, even the inner structure parts. But when you're out on the trail and you're in a pinch and you've got to get stuff fixed and show up to that car meet, well, you just take the good end of your ratchet strap, cut it off, zap it to the door, bolt it to the original old strap, and it's good as new. But then when you realize you can't have your buddies seeing all your rust in your A-pillar, you just take the good part of your door jamb, cut it out of there, put it in the A-pillar, problem solved. You're going to win the awards at the car show time and time again. Ford Broncos. That's what it's about. Just make it happen. It was all about going fast back in the day with these old Broncos. No, it wasn't. But when you put Daytona on your wheel or on your tire, it got you the credit you deserved. We were really excited to see these new wheels on here. They just look really nice with the old Bronco style. Well, in fact, we're thinking about getting this same wheel and putting it on the new Bronco. No, we're not. This wheel's a good wheel, but it's one of those that it needs to change. Be a little more error correct. But for now, it's round and it rolls, and they're all forward matching, so that's cool. Well, one thing's for sure. If you want to feel like the biggest man in the world, buy yourself an early Bronco, because, well, it's tiny in here. And the bigger you are, the closer your dome gets to the roof, well, you just buy one of these sweet bikini tops and you'll fit anywhere. Or, you know, just drive like this with your honey and it'll be fine. She used to be 3 on the tree. From my understanding, no Bronco came with a floor shifter, but here it is. So somebody must have converted this Bronco to be a floor shift. And it is the most inconvenient thing to drive. When you get your leg over here, you don't have a second knee to be able to reach around this huge shifter knob. You needed to put it over here. Then you don't need to worry about a 4-wheel drive lever. We don't even know if it works. Somebody just cut it off, and well, we'll fix that later. It only says there's 14,915 miles on this old rig. Yeah, I don't believe that. We got swindled, wife. It was bad, okay? But we have it. Oh, it's gonna be fine. Give me a minute. There's a 4-letter F word on the grill. In all seriousness, I can't describe to you how happy and excited we are to have this old Bronco. We got an awesome phone call from a really good friend. It said, man, if you want to buy an early Bronco, today's the day. And we found this here local. And with it being local, I decided, because of Dave and Sandy Loan, I'm going to drive the thing home. I don't want to take and throw it on a trailer and be that guy that just gets it home, starts working on it, and making changes. I wanted to drive it. So that's ultimately where our journey starts. After we picked the Bronco up, the very first thing we had to do was somebody took the time to put ginormous bumpers on this Bronco. So the first thing we did is we cut those big old bumpers off, put on factory, way better shaped bumpers off of another Bronco. But in the front, we had to, unfortunately, cut the frame rails to get the Bronco 2 bumper off of this early Bronco. They make parts for these. I know we can get another chunk of C-channel or whatever box tube to be able to put the bumper back on this. But for now, we couldn't be rolling around with Bronco 2 bumpers on here. It'd just be silly. So, cut that off. We've got the front bumper hiding and it'll make an appearance. But first, we've got to fix the frame rails to be able to get that bumper on. The most important thing, what do you think this old Bronco came with? Factory. We don't know if this is the actual factory engine, but what's going to get us from A to B in this old Bronco? Because right now, that's all that we're getting. I want to go A to Z. But right now, it's tired. But I'll show you. So, in the powerhouse, we have got what we believe to be the factory 289, but there's some suspicious parts on here that make it seem like it's probably not factory. But we have a V8 4-wheel drive, no computers on this thing other than a few little modules, easy piece of equipment to work on. And this little V8, it runs pretty good. Smokes a little, but that's fine. It just means that there's oil in it. If it didn't smoke, we'd be worried. But this little motor brought us home over 100 miles from when we originally picked up this Bronco. Let me tell you about it. Once we got those bumpers out of the way, the next thing is we noticed that we had a couple fuel leaks on the engine. The fuel pump was leaking. Also, the carburetor, where the accelerator pump is, was starting to leak as well. And well, that causes fire, and we can't have fire. We fixed it. Put a new fuel pump on, did some new fuel lines from the pump up, took and cleared out the lines as best we could. The previous owner informed us that it's got a new tank in it. Just the auxiliary tank. He forgot to tell me that he put the rear tank on Wi-Fi mode, because when I put fuel in it, it just goes straight to the ground, and well, that was expensive. Lesson learned. Once we got the fuel leaks taken care of, the next thing we noticed, we got a leaky radiator, and that keeps the whole thing cool. Can't have that. We got to drive about 100 miles to get this thing home. So we didn't do just one radiator, nor two, but we put 3 radiators in this Bronco before we found one that would seal up. Here again, the Bronco community is fantastic where we live. We reached out to a guy that we knew that had old Bronco parts, and he just simply said, hey, come pick up this radiator. I don't need it. If I need it, I know where it's at, and I'll leave you stranded. So we went and picked up his good radiator, put it in here, and you'll never guess it didn't leak. He actually hooked us up pretty solid. Another guy hooked us up with the shroud that you see on here. That does all of the magical things of pulling air through that radiator. I truly don't think the whole drive I got over like 130 degrees. It stayed really cool the entire time. We've got a good running motor. We changed the oil on it, threw some fresh spark plugs in it. Now it drives, it moves, but it don't stop, and it won't stop on its own. We tried, because we have no floorboards in the Bronco, doing the whole Fred Flintstone thing, and well, that hurt. So we decided to look into, let's at least get some brakes. And we did. We bled them. We got brakes like you couldn't believe. I couldn't believe it. And it was too good to be true, because, well, on our test drive, before we were going to jump on the road and bring the Bronco home, kaboom, brake lines blew out. They rust up. Brake fluid's pretty corrosive, and well, they gave up. And brake fluid everywhere. But luckily enough, we were still at our friend's house to where we could pull back in and fix it. We got with Tom's Off-Road and ordered up their direct replacement brake lines from the master cylinder to the H block. Yeah, this Bronco doesn't have anything power on it. All manual. It's fine. Just double pump it before you try to stop. Those lines fit perfect. As soon as we got them, boom, put them on, and we bled the brakes. And quickly did we realize when those old brake lines broke, they shot some stuff through the lines. And well, we don't have front brakes, only rear. And it's fine because, it could have been worse. Could have been 1, but we had 2 brakes instead of 4. Felt confident enough that we can check that off the pizza box list and drive it home safely. The other thing with these old Broncos, you can change the tops just like you can change your shoes. When we picked up the Bronco from the previous owner, he has a best top, soft top on there. Well, it was cool, but it was held on by vice grips and, hey, I'm up here. With these Broncos, you get all sorts of top options. My buddy hooked me up with the old roll bar and a bikini top that's on the Bronco now. But along with the purchase of our Bronco, we got a hard top. Don't look too close, it's bad. But we have it and it exists. So we need to get parts coming to fix this too. Because ultimately, especially with having kids, I think the hard top's the way to go. We can delete the doors when we're cruising, but to have that top on there, cut the wind noise a little bit, I think that's the best bet. Now, even with all the body parts being rotted out of the Bronco, we have got new sheet metal for the Bronco already. The previous owner was collecting parts. He's going to build this Bronco. This wasn't his first one. He has many. He hooked us up with the parts that he was collecting for this Bronco. We've got the rear tailgate pillars. I don't know what they're called. We've got A-pillars. I know what those are called. We've got floor pans. He even set us up new quarter panels. and I'm so excited to put these on and change the look of that Bronco. But let's cut back to the story of how we got her home. So the next thing, before my big ass could drive this thing home, the factory steering wheel was too big. When my knees were basically in my teeth, I couldn't do that. Also, you probably already noticed, it's on upside down. You know, we do things different around here. Anyway, new steering wheel, we're ready to go. Lean down to fire this Bronco up. What could be missing? Yep, no key. Our 5-year-old son was deciding to play Bronco driver, and he realized that this death trap wasn't going to get us home, and he didn't want to leave, so, well, he hid the key, and we never found it. So we did the right thing and hotwired it. Cranks right to life, and you're on the road. So now it starts about an 1.5-hour trek from our buddy's house to our house. And it was worth every minute longer that it took in this old Bronco. My wife and kids were following me in the new Bronco just in case the old one broke down. We could tow it. Because, you know, the new Bronco can tow enough. I'll tell you what. Didn't freaking blubber. Didn't stutter. Didn't nothing. Started it up. Never turned it off because it would be a pain to restart it on the road. So just kept her running. And drove it home flawlessly. I was at points scared for my life. But, well, we're still kicking, so we're doing good. This Bronco, as much credit that I'm not giving it, it does deserve it. We have got big plans for this old Bronco to make it better. We got it home. What a journey. And I would do it 10 times over again. Meeting great people, helpful people that are more than willing to invest their own money into your project and expect nothing. Awesome. You guys want to hear this thing? Let the horses fly? There's 2 of them, I think. It's scutless, but it runs, it drives, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't started this in probably about 3 days it's been sitting here. So let's see if it just cranks right to life. You know, we'll give her 1, 2. Yep. See, it's been sitting. Let me charge the battery real quick. Round 2. Aha! A little bit of au jus goes a long way. It runs pretty good, guys. You know, as good as it can for being an old Ford anyway. Fires right up once the battery's charged, to be expected. Let's listen to them pipes. That's where the music comes in. Yeah! That makes it worth all the money. One thing you're going to want to do when you get an early Bronco is get yourself a Marty Report. It's going to tell you everything about your Bronco from when it was built, what it was optioned with, just like we have with the new Broncos. Got that build sheet? Well, here it is for the old Bronco. I think this cost you like $65 if your friend spends the money for you. I remember that. Anyway, our Bronco is a U15, so that means that it was a 4x4 wagon. So it had the hardtop and removable back wall. Also, this Bronco had a 289, which we believe to be what's in it. Then it was originally Harbor Blue. There's some of it. Mostly it's yellow and rusty. Also, it was a 3-speed manual transmission. So, tell me, was the floor shifter normal or was it supposed to be 3 on the tree? Marty says it was manual. That's all I can go off of. These things are awesome to have to preserve the history of your old Bronco. You can simply keep it as a digital file, print it out, show it off to everybody that comes in your shop. Or just study up on what your Bronco is to know if you have that $1 million Bronco. We don't. Yeah, it's cool, but it's not $1 million worth. In fact, what do you think this Bronco's worth? If you were to buy it right now, running, driving, it stops, it goes. Also, comes with new A-pillars, floor pans, new quarters, and the rear tailgate inner structure piece. Don't know what to call them still. But it's all new sheet metal that you can zap into place. What's this Bronco worth? Drop a comment below and tell us how much you think, ballpark estimate, you would pay for something like this. Because I'm still in disbelief. I think we got a good deal. My bank doesn't think so. We can fix all this. It's only money. They'll print more tomorrow. They just won't give it to me. Thanks for stopping by and checking out our old Bronco. We've got some cool stuff in store for this. This winter, boom, it's getting blown apart. We're doing some things. We want to drive it next summer. We got car shows and car meets and greets to be at. And we're going to have this old Bronco there. I got a question. You think it'll do a burnout? Remember, folks, don't do dumb stuff at home. But get off the couch. Go create your own adventures. We'll see you next time. We got some big plans coming. Here comes a burnout. Oh yeah, all the power.
Bronco Adventures.